Good evening, folks, and welcome to W. Michael Ross 66 Stadium. We are getting set for a good one. It is CBC versus DeSmet in these teams' first game in the 45th playing of the CBC tournament. My name is Tom Eichwald. I'll have the pleasure of bringing you this one. We have a beautiful evening on that brand new field. Look at that, folks. It is beautiful out here. We got the LED lights going. It is a great night for high school soccer, and we are thrilled to be bringing it to you. CBC comes in 4-0, having beaten Lindbergh, Gateway Legacy Christian Academy, and Francis Howell North and Collinsville. Those games by scores of 3-1, 4-3, 7-0, and 1-0 respectively. And what that says, a lot of goals being scored. Look forward to seeing this revitalized CBC offense. And they're going to be going against the DeSmet Spartans, who come in just 2-2. But in a rivalry game, anything can happen. The Spartans opened their season with a loss to Lafayette, score of 3-2. And they lost at a very good Holt team, 2-1. Lost at Summit, 3-1. They won at Holt and Summit, 2-1, 3-1. Getting my columns mixed up. And then they lost to Cape Notre Dame by a score of 2-0. So that is how they got here. And speaking with Coach Klein just for a few minutes before the game, they are very much a team just trying to find the right lineup, right identity. But as he said, if they're not ready to go for tonight, they never will be. So I imagine they will come out full of energy, and we will see a DeSmet team that is very formidable as always. They're going to be on the left side of your screen. They're wearing maroon shorts, white shirt, and white socks. CBC wearing the yellow jerseys, gray shorts, and yellow socks on the right side of your screen. Joining me for tonight's broadcast is Mr. Randy Gardner and Leo Ramos. Gentlemen, nice to have you with us. And Coach Gardner, we'll start with you. Your thoughts as we get ready for this one.
If you can't get pumped up for a game like this on a night like this, there's something wrong. I'll tell you what, last night, a lot of us, including ourselves as broadcasters, were pumped and ready for the game last night. Now they had to step back and wait 24 hours for this one to take place. But I think everybody on that field is ready to go on both sides.
You were ready to go earlier.
I was ready.
I thought you were going to go back to the car and get the boots on.
If they need me, I'm going in.
Earlier, this is Bartoni. Plays it out to Burkett as CBC gets on the front foot right away. Good pressure from Burkett. Cole Grodoff for DeSmet stood up to that one. A battle over there on that far side as DeSmet looks right down the middle. Generally, they're going to play with one striker up top and a line of four in behind him. Looks like that one guy up top is going to be, trying to see that number. That looks like number 3, Alex Tomasella. Looks like he will have that duty. And as we get started, let's bring Leo in. Leo, does it get any better than a rivalry game?
No, it does not. We know that the CBC and DeSmet rivalry between football is huge, but it's also equally important in a soccer game. I know our Student Leadership Council at CBC has hyped this game up heavily, and they really wanted the student section to get rowdy tonight.
And Leo, it's going to be such a momentous occasion that the students were advised to wear helmets. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I don't know exactly why that is the choice. Maybe because it's wearing a helmet on their logo, but very interesting, I think.
Interesting. Reclaiming the helmet from the Spartans who come in with it on their crest. I like that. It is a helmet theme tonight, and we did not bring our helmets. Forgot to bring mine, so let's all keep it civil up here.
It's going to be interesting to see the new formation and lineup that Coach Mickler puts on the field. As you can see right now, this formation, this 1-4, 2-3, or 3-2, really, however they're going to maneuver those 5 up front, this really packs the midfield. And we talk about that every year that we go on the air, that, hey, you've got to win the midfield, whether it's defensively or offensively. And with this formation, it really packs and makes the other team, makes DeSmet play around the outside.
That new formation is we'll class it as a 1-4-2-3 that you will see CBC playing tonight. Alex Peters, one of the leaders, is wearing the much revered number 4 jersey for Coach Mickler as Burkett can't get on it. Matchiner backs him up. But he is playing in behind a back line from right to left of Liam Jacober, Luca Bartoni, Dylan James, and Sam Villa, as that one is out past Burkett.
And Tom, as you see early here, you can look right now, you've got 7 guys behind the ball. And consistently, as the ball moved up through the midfield there, you've got 5 guys back. So this is one of those formations that takes the other team and sucks them in, and then the quick counter. And looking for that, the midfielder coming back or the striker coming back for that ball and hold until you can get some of these guys up.
And that is the guy right there. You just saw him pass the ball, Luke Matchner. He's got speed that not a whole lot of teams are going to match. And when I spoke to Coach Zipfel earlier in the week, he was saying that that is part of the reason for this system. As Villa takes a knock, keeps going. Good battle over there. Nice job by Paul Ferber of DeSmet. But the goal is to invite some pressure, absorb it, and then spring on the counter. You're going to see Luke Matchner in the middle. He's wearing number 8, right in the middle of the center circle right now. And he is going to be looking to break every chance they get, because when he's in the open field with the ball in front of him, he is dangerous.
I want to point out something real quick on this play that just happened. You see number 4, Alex Peters, and that number 1 that we talked about in the formation, he is known as a sweeper. Any ball that goes through the defense, that is his responsibility, and I believe he'll be on Alex Tomasello a lot.
He will. I think that's going to be a good matchup. Essentially, if he can just take him out of the game, as we see a throw come in from Anderson, headed clear. If he can take that front man out of the game, then you're working with a flat midfield, and any threat that you're going to be able to mount is going to come from those midfield runners, and then you still have a back line of 4 to deal with those. So I like the system. They used it for the first time against Gateway Legacy Christian Academy and scored 4 goals out of it. So although it looks like a defensive formation, the purpose is about creating chances, and it certainly can. Just about 5 minutes into this one. I'm Tom Eichwald. Alongside me, Randy Gardner and Leo Ramos. And we are enjoying the early stages of CBC versus DeSmet. The Cadets have won this tournament 20 times. That is correct. It's the 45th playing, and CBC has won it 20 times. But to find the last one, you would have to go all the way back to 2012.
When I read that and saw that, I almost thought it was a slight mistake.
Surely not. Yeah.
There's no way.
It is not a mistake. CBC has not won this tournament until 2012. In fact, the last few playings of it, they really have been a non-factor. Some of the early seasons still trying to figure it out as that throw comes in. It's a good one. Dealt with well by Bartoni.
You look at maybe some reasons for that. Every team, it doesn't matter who you are and where you're at on the schedule. When you see CBC, even when I played back in the 80s, when CBC was on that schedule, that's the game that we circle. That's the one, no matter what happened the rest of the year, that's the game we wanted to win.
Good ball in. First test for Stenger, and he does a nice job. He was under pressure there from Ferber over here on the right side.
And that's exactly what the coaching staff of DeSmet told us before the game, is that, look, if you can't get up for a game against CBC, we can't get you up.
And I got to state the obvious. You had to bring up playing against CBC back in the 80s. Worked out okay for you, didn't it?
I always got to get that in there.
He always has to get that in there.
That year, the ring came to Aquinas.
And Coach Mickler still remembers every moment of that game. I've been caught in the middle of that conversation a few times. Peters ushers it out nicely.
What's neat is the mutual respect that players like myself and coaches like Vince Drake and all the guys who coached through the 80s and through the 90s and 70s and grew up through the realm of Coach Mickler still have that unbelievable, unrelenting respect for what he does and continues to do for the game.
That one straight out of play from Sean Stenger. Coach is singing his praises after 4 games. He's been very, very solid in goal, which is what you need. He's very vocal, one of the leaders of this team as well. And so you have you have Peters back there. You got Luca Bartoni, a captain, and you have a very vocal goalkeeper. So if you're adapting to a new system, it's nice to have those sorts of leaders in there.
Well, and when you're trying to adapt in a game like this where the emotions are so high, CBC feels the same way about DeSmet. This is the game that you want to mark off, especially the first game of the tournament, because with any tournament, that first game is one of the most important ones to get a W in. So I think if they can control their emotions early here, sustain some pressure, work the ball around a little bit, just get comfortable, just get into the flow of the game, things will just start to happen.
Talked about the CBC defense. Nice move here by Dominic Bartoni. He's got Burkett inside of him, trying to get into the box. Good defensive work to get back in position by Ryan Volker, one of the seniors. Great turn by Bartoni in response. Good matchup over there. Here's Matchner. Good control, miscommunication, though, and that'll go out.
And this is the first time we've seen the team this year as far as the television side of things. I'll tell you what, the brothers, the movement of the brothers when they have the ball, they look exactly the same. I can't tell them apart unless I see a number.
I
I think the interesting thing is it's a team really built to counterattack with this formation. Here's Luca Bartoni. He's got a license to go forward, folks. Peters takes the leadership at the back to make sure he can. Great job by him. Burkett is out to the right. He's got a cannon of a left foot. Tries to get on it but can't. He's closed down very well there by Slayton Spencer.
And exactly what we talked about, that quick counter out of the back. You saw it right there.
And for DeSmet, if you can deal with the first pass or two and just keep men behind the ball. This is Matchner on the turn, tries to get the right-footed shot away. It's a good block. And DeSmet trying to build. Bartoni steps up, and he's going to commit the foul.
Everybody's upset about that, but from this angle, it's a foul.
It is. And we'll get a quick word from our official. Boy, it's good to have fans back, isn't it?
Oh, what a difference.
Well, and Leo, you can speak to this as well. Like, just going to games and doing the broadcast is great, but if you don't have that fan noise, the experience of going to a game is just not there. We understood why it had to be, but just so great to be back in the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely, and the players love it too. I went to the first game against Lindbergh, and the atmosphere was electric. You know, hearing that Clarkson I Care chant just smiles on my face every time.
Early opportunity there. Paul Ferber just couldn't get a foot on it as DeSmet tried to work it in off their attacking left side. Stanger will gratefully watch that one drift away. It's a couple times DeSmet has kind of worked it out wide. What they like to do is work it out wide, then you'll see number 3. Again, that is Tomasella. You'll see him kind of make a diagonal run across, maybe draw a few defenders, and that's where those midfield runners like to fill in. Little barge in the back of Dominic Bartoni, who makes the point to the official, who is uninterested. We mentioned the back line for DeSmet. In front of them, a midfield 2 of Matchner and Hartzell as Peters settles.
The DeSmet defense has been very stellar early on, not really allowing CBC to take advantage of these counterattacks.
They have, and I think, as the game goes on, we'll have to see, do they get a little hungry? Do they start coming out a little bit higher and open up space in behind them? Because that's where the speed of CBC can be devastating. There's a foul called against DeSmet. CBC wants to take it quickly. That was Hartzell who wanted to take it right away. He will leave it for Bartoni. We'll get a lofted ball in here. Nope, we won't. At least not on the first one. He's going to play it out to Burkett. Burkett naturally a left-footed right winger, which means his instinct is to dribble in rather than hitting that cross first time. He's going to be out for a DeSmet throw.
I find it interesting that Luca is a center back. He's usually seen as that number 10, that center attacking midfielder, providing the passes to the number 9.
It is odd to see a number 10 on a Coach Terry Mickler team playing that far back, but Luca Bartoni's enjoying it. And if you look back over the last few years, Luca Bartoni has as high a soccer IQ as any high school player you're going to see. So that is what you need back there. And the partnership that he's forming with Peters, another one of the captains, and Dylan James back there, really good things are happening, so you don't want to mess with it too much. We do know, though, that if CBC gets in a position where it's late in the game and they need a goal, that's another guy you can bring up to try to imbalance those matchups on the offensive side too. So it's kind of a weapon in reserve if you need him, because he can hit him for sure. Just about 12 minutes gone here. You're watching CBC versus DeSmet. This is the Cadet Student Network. And we want to ask you, Cadet fans, are you protected? Call State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo for all your insurance needs. Tim is more than just the best insurance guy in town, and he's the presenting sponsor of CSN, and we're incredibly grateful for his support. You'll want to call him at 314-842-4442 or send him an email, tim@timkylo, that's KILO.com. A 1-2 between Burkett and Matchner doesn't quite pan out. And here comes DeSmet. Early ball. It's going to be chased down on the near side by Ferber. Stanger gathers comfortably.
Yeah, CBC's offense seems to be deriving off of give and goes. We've seen Dylan has done it a couple times, same as Caden Smith, where they try to give that ball to a midfielder and make a run in behind.
I mentioned everything but that front 3. It's Dominic Bartoni in the middle, Dylan Burkett on the right, Caden Smith over here on the near side. And just as Burkett is a left-footed right winger, they call that an inverted winger, same for Caden Smith, likes to dribble in on the right. And fun thing about that is, just like moving Luca up, you can switch those two and get a very different look as they look to cross. Here's a long ball from Luca. It's going to find Dominic and Dylan. And it will be Burkett who tries to get it Good job defensively there by DeSmet. Full credit to Slayton Spencer, who was up for the battle.
Yeah, these front three of the Cadets are going to give the defense a hard time. I remember playing with Dylan over the weekend, and he is very pacey.
Pass was intended for Anthony Gruey down the left side. Luca Bartoni does well to shepherd him out. And the Cadets will be able to reset. Haven't really seen that lightning quick counter that CBC has. I mean, getting the ball in this midfield area quite a bit.
Yeah, this formation's a very unpopular and very creative. So, you know, maybe some of these players, I know they've practiced it, but haven't seen a lot of game time with this new formation.
That was Ferber trying to poke it ahead to Tomasella. Out for a goal kick. DeSmet getting some good possession, good opportunities around the top of the 18, but so far unable to find that last pass. And you'd have to say pretty much everyone they passed it to has been pretty well marked. Stanger's going to hit this with about 25.5 minutes remaining in this first half. This game was supposed to be played last night, but due to storms moving through, of the 2 games scheduled, SLU and Vianney, and then DeSmet CBC, all they were able to play was the first 15 minutes of the first game. They finished that game here this afternoon before this one got going. It was a 2-0 SLU win, so they're leaders of the tournament. Matchiner with the right foot. That's the second time he's looked to pull the trigger around that area. We have a Spartan a little bit slow to get up. He appears to be okay. It's Jake Panages. But Matchner is an attacker's attacker. He is looking for the goal every single time. If he gets in space, he can finish him.
Yeah, I believe that's the first shot of the game, or at least for CBC in this half.
Yeah, he had one blocked a little bit ago. He's already got 3 goals on 8 shots in the season. It's tied for the Cadets' leading scorer, a 3-way tie with Dominic Bartoni and Caden Smith. Over the last few years, if you've followed CBC soccer and watched a few of these broadcasts, how many times have we been in the middle of a game and said, well, CBC really hasn't generated many shots. They need to generate a little more offense. Where the goal's going to come from, those sorts of conversations. And so far this season, the Cadets' offense has been very lively. Great to see. Smet knocks it around the back. Good pressure by Dominic Bartoni. It's the sort of stuff that doesn't get you in the stat sheet, but every single coach notices. And that front three doing a good job of pressing.
See those midfielders get involved in the pressing as well. Having those front 5 up top try to pressure the 5 defenders of DeSmet with their center defensive midfielder as well.
Luca Bartoni steps. Did a nice job. Didn't win the ball, but here he is, and there it is. If at first you don't succeed.
There's that give and go again.
Here it is. This is where the speed of CBC is deadly. This is Dylan Burkett. Wants to cut it in on his left if he can. He's got help in the middle from Hartzell. Calming presence, picks up the ball, picks up his head. Tries to find Caden Smith, who worked his way all the way across the front line. Caden trying to get a right-footed cross in. Good slide there defensively. That was number 5, Justin Roschke got over there.
Yeah, great job by the DeSmet defense and to slow down that counterattack.
And especially, sometimes when a winger sneaks all the way across, they can get lost a little bit. They did a nice job of following Caden Smith. Good experienced backline. And is out of bounds for a DeSmet throw. It's Paul Ferber, who's doing battle with Dylan James. 22:36 remaining. We are scoreless. CBC, if you're just joining us, is in those yellow jerseys, gray shorts, yellow socks. They're on the right side of your screen going right to left. But this is a throw-in for the white-shirted DeSmet Spartans, who are going left to right. Flicked on. Stenger should have this, and he does. You see that all the time at every level of soccer. You throw it to the near post, try to flick it on. He just got a little too much of that. It's meant to come in a little flatter and be a little more challenging to deal with. Speaking of challenging to deal with, awkward ball for Bartoni. Burkett underlaps and finds a nice pocket of space. Only has one option in the middle, though. It's Caden Smith. As he hits the football upright, that'll be a goal kick. If you got a guy in that position, you really do need 1 or 2 more runners I think it maybe got up there just a little too quick. As Dominic Bartoni had just won that ball, so he was a little bit farther back.
Only one guy inside the box to receive that cross if it did get through.
Yeah, and he also got so far toward the end line, the only thing is to cut it back in. And he just mishit it. Ooh. Hartzell right on the chin. They don't teach you that one. Ball over the top is dealt with initially by Peters, but Ferber was there. Miscommunication gives it right back to Hartzell.
Saw Alex Peters once again on the end of that defensive front, that defensive stop.
Yeah, if you've ever played sweeper, it is a very cerebral position. You're essentially, a firefighter or it's almost like being a bodyguard, really. If you watch a bodyguard knows what they're doing, it's not just about reacting. It's about trying to figure out, where could something bad happen, and trying to make sure that you avoid that on the front end.
Right.
Trying to make sure that all the angles are protected. Trying to make sure all that. That is what Alex Peters is tasked with tonight. He has to see the whole game. He has to anticipate. He has to be a through and through pessimist and assume that somebody's going to get beat, and then he's the last line. So it's really placing demands on Peters, but when you're as intelligent a soccer player as he is, it is such an asset to your team to have a guy who can do that, because it frees up Bartoni and James. They're not worried about stepping up for a challenge. As James takes one from Tomasella, they're a little late, but the referee says play on.
Yeah, a lot of bodies following then. The ref is letting them play. It's a very physical game.
It is, and it's always going to be and always should be between CBC and DeSmet. We haven't seen anything that crosses any line or even approaches any line so far, so that's the kind of physicality you want. Here's the Spartan attack putting a foot on it. That was Gruey. They've got 3 across the 18-yard box now with one more out wide left. Ferber working against Villa over here is, I think, the matchup they were trying to find as they worked it over. Hank Walbert puts it over the top. Too direct, and that'll be Sean Stingers every single time.
Yeah, isn't really challenged with these balls yet.
He'll be okay with that. Ball was hammered into the chest of Walbert. Ends up on the deck. Dominic Bartone, no correction, that's Matchner, ends up with it. He's not going to back away from any challenges as he's over there fighting with Ryan Volker. Ends up on the turf, and this is going to go Matchner's way. Just over halfway through the first half. What are your thoughts so far, Leo?
Well, very defensively solid game. We see a lot of that counterattack that we talked about earlier in the game from CBC, but DeSmet able to contain that counterattack, make sure that it doesn't really get past the defense.
Peters will deliver this with substitutions waiting for CBC. Be with the right foot. Lofted toward that back post. Doesn't get there. Goalie's out. Goal!
Wow!
Alex Peters with 18:29 to go scores on a free kick.
And the new lights go off.
There's the light show.
Alex Peters, what a ball in. That was a goal from around 38 yards out. Very impressive. It seems like the goalkeeper was anticipating a redirection from the CBC attackers crashing in, but it never happened.
Boy, that is a simple miscalculation from Kyle Crosswhite, the sophomore goalkeeper. He's gotten pretty much all the minutes, at least according to what we can find in this season, and he will want that one back because it's a very lonely moment right now when you misplay that, and it just goes right over your head. So, very capable goalkeeper, but, man, that one's going to hurt.
Yeah, you saw right after the goal, all the players for CBC went down to the student section to celebrate. That's how much the CBC fans mean to the players.
Ball over the top is chased by Peters. And the CBC fans will get a look at that. They'll go chasing it, which is okay because they're all safely wearing helmets. It is a helmet theme today.
See some lacrosse, some hockey and football.
Is that a water polo helmet I think I see down there?
Not quite sure.
I think that's an old-timey football helmet. That's an old leather football helmet, folks. These guys are going way back. Got a couple lacrosse helmets down there. Football player helmet. DeSmet fans reminding CBC students that they chose helmets. I believe that is self-evident. I'll be interested to see what CBC comes back with here. 17:30 remaining. Cross white on the ball. Got all the time in the world. And they're going to play it out from the back.
Yeah, I think DeSmet's going to try and slow down this game. There's some banter. Maybe a shirtless theme for DeSmet, I'm assuming.
It is a little warm out here, but...
Yeah, temperatures low 80s with a little bit of humidity from the rain yesterday.
Boy, it just makes it so much more fun, doesn't it?
Just brings a smile to my face.
It does. 16:53 to go. CBC leading thanks to a goal from Alex Peters. Now, folks, he will tell you, I'm sure, it's the law of soccer. If it goes in, that's what you were trying to do. Isn't that right, Mr. Gardner? I think, though, he might have been trying to loft that to the back post just to let somebody make a run at it. I think Dominic Bartoni was over there. I'll ask him tomorrow. We'll see what he says.
Yeah. I remember Alex Peters.
Good turn by DeSmet. Nobody in the middle. It's about 5 cadets. And that was all he could find. This is Matchner who'll chase.
I remember talking to Alex Peters earlier today about the game, and he was just so excited. He was thrilled. He had a smile on his face all throughout the school day, and he was really excited to play.
Yeah, and I think it's the start that this team has had this season, probably surprised a lot of people. CBC feeling they didn't get a whole lot of respect in the preseason polls. As a result, if you see him warming up, yes, that is Rodney Dangerfield on their warm-up tops.
This is a very experienced CBC team as well. There's a lot of seniors on his team that even played as a sophomore 2 years ago in the starting 11. So we see that veteranship, that maturity that they bring to the soccer play.
A few substitutions to tell you about. On for CBC, Carlo Anik is on at left back. Henry Reinwart at right back. Matchner looks like he has moved up to the forward position. Still have Caden Smith on this near wing. Hartzell in the middle alongside Etzel. And Burkett over there on the right wing looks like he's been replaced by Nate Tebow. I think that's everybody. We'll find out eventually. Here come the Spartans. Look at all those CBC bodies behind the ball. That is 9 guys behind the ball as it's sent back in by Connor McCullough. This is what CBC wants. They want to invite this, absorb it, and then if you can find that long ball to Matchner, he could be off to the races. I'd like to see Matchner maybe drift back a little bit, see if he can pull that man just a little bit closer. But I'm sure he's got instructions, and we'll trust it. This is Caden Smith on the near side. Puts his foot on the ball. He's got Hartzell in the middle. That's well read by Slayton Spencer. Hartzell again looking for Matchner. Does a nice job with the positioning. It's Matchner versus Crosswhite. Crosswhite wins it, but the danger is not over. Matchner gets their goal. No, it's wide. No, it's wide.
So close. Beautiful through ball, though, by the midfielder.
Too soon on the goal call there. But as Crosswhite came out, every once in a while it happens. You make the initial save and it ricochets right back behind you. Excellent defensive cover to put just enough pressure on Matchner that the sliding shot went just wide. I thought it was in, obviously.
We cannot iterate this enough. This is exactly what CBC wants. We saw like 9 players behind the 20-yard line, and then after that interception, just explode forward.
Tebow sends it in. It's headed back in by Etzel and out of bounds. But that is the speed of Luke Matchner, and everybody's going to see the speed he was running at. But unless you were looking closely, you didn't see him using his body to just hold that center back off and maintain the gap between the center backs. That is a channel between the 2 center backs that is entirely of Luke Matchner's making. So if he's got that speed and the ability to kind of dictate where those gaps are, that is a really, really potent combination. So great job by Luke to see that. And a good ball through to him by Landon Hartzell. Really, really well read by a smart player. The guy who chases it always gets the credit. We should give Landon credit for that pass. 12:46 to go, still 1-0 CBC. against the defending tournament champion Spartans of DeSmet. They come into this game 2-2. CBC 4-0. That's a diagonal ball. Fairly comfortable for Carlo Anik.
Last year, DeSmet won. Was it their fourth or their fifth?
Their fourth CBC tournament.
CBC tournament, yeah.
And it was 2019. The tournament not played last year, actually, due to COVID. So 2019 was the last time this tournament occurred. And Spartans won that tournament.
I'm surprised that the CBC Cadets did not win the 2018 tournament year. That was the year where CBC was nationally ranked, and they ended up winning the state championship against DeSmet.
And they're going to back him up, just make sure. Everything's on the up and up. That's Carlo Anik taking the throw in as Caden Smith flicks it on. And you're right about that 2018 team. That was a team that really kind of throughout the season grew as Dylan James hits the deck late.
Slow to get up.
Going to have to get up. A couple challenges right on the edge of being late. Not sure if they're not being seen or just deemed not enough to blow the whistle as Nate Tebow battles Penagues. Matching her, great ball through to Tebow. He's got Caden Smith in the middle too. Tebow on the right, cuts it back. He's got options. Almost threaded through to Landon Hartzell, who's making a run on the back side. Reinwart will back up. Henry Reinwart, the senior. His pass is denied. Only one option for DeSmet, and that's to dump it long for Anthony Gruey. And some gaps starting to open up between the midfield and that lone top man for DeSmet. Which, if you want to figure out how to beat the one-man forward, just let that gap open up, take him out of the game, and Caden Smith takes one from the right cleat of Justin Roschke, maybe a couple of them.
The game's for sure escalating in intensity. We see a little bit of frustration out of the DeSmet players, unable to get clear opportunities in the attack.
And I think part of that is because, you know, there's just so many defenders back there for CBC to deal with the pressure. This is Luca Bartoni looking long for Caden Smith, 1v2. It's the two that wins it initially. Foot race into the corner. Great pressure by Caden Smith. This is going to force a good attacking throw-in.
This has been a reoccurring theme. The front three attackers have been pressuring the back line of DeSmet heavily, and it has caused multiple turnovers.
And you'll see substitutions used to try to keep their freshness as Reinwart steps over it. Recovers nicely. And that's fairly convincing from Luca Bartoni. Go out for a goal kick.
Reinwart playing that right back position, usually known as a center defensive mid.
Anyone who knows Henry Reinwart knows that his brain can adapt to things very, very quickly. Very, very intelligent young man. And an outstanding musician as well.
Very good on the piano.
He is.
On the good old ivory.
9 minutes, 7 seconds to go. This is Kyle Crosswhite. Gives it a left-footed boot. Mentioned briefly earlier that St. Louis University High School, the Junior Bills, won the first game in this tournament, beating Vianney 2-0. With the point system in this tournament, they have 6 points. Matchiner's ball in. It's just a little too far ahead of Caden Smith. But look at the speed of Smith to get back there, and they're going to call him for that. It'll be a DeSmet free kick, and Caden Smith is going to get a calm down young man. But SLU winning 2-0 gives them 6 points, so they are the leader with 6 points. How did they get 6? Okay, put your math hat on, Leo.
Okay.
3 points for a win.
Okay.
You get 1 point for each goal you score up to 6. So win and 2 goals, that gives you 5 points. You get a bonus point if you win by shutout.
Oh, wow.
So the 2-0 win was good enough for 6 points for St. Louis University High School. If this game were to end 1-0, it would be 6-5 with CBC in second place. And 0 points to Vianney or DeSmet. A lot of soccer to go, though. Great ball in. This is Tebow with a good opportunity. He picks his head up, looks for the pass, cuts in on the left. DeSmet recovers, still pokes it ahead. Nate Tebow with a goal.
The lights.
Tebow with 7:57 to go.
Lights go out again. Beautiful run by Nate Tebow, and a lot of support coming in from the CBC cadets, giving the DeSmet defense to cover up those players and freeing them up to have a shot.
So Nate Tebow, the CBC number 7 and junior, gets himself on the score sheet, and that was sheer persistence in there. It was a good ball into him. You could tell he was cutting it in, almost looking to cross. But then he beat a man and had the opportunity, lost the ball, regained it, and just poked it to the right-hand side of Kyle Crosswhite. Not a whole lot that a DeSmet goalkeeper could do about that one, as he was fairly beaten. 2-0 is the score. Caden Smith is being told to leave the field. I did not see a card produced, but the official is saying something to the CBC coaching staff. I think they're less than pleased with something. We're not sure exactly what, so no need to speculate, as Coach Mickler gets the explanation, as does Luca Bartoni, one of the captains.
While that was happening, number 20 for DeSmet, TJ Schaefer, has subbed in. I couldn't really tell who came off, but it looks like he'll be playing that left wing position.
Well, I don't think Luca agrees with whatever's being said, but the referee's decision is final. Landon Hartzell asked for an explanation as well. And with 7:57 to go in the first half, we are going again. Good pressure by the CBC attack. So Dominic Bartoni is going to drop back to that left wing spot, as Stenger will grab this one.
Mr. Eichwell, I know you were a former goalkeeper yourself. What's it like being in net, maybe not having challenging shots to stop, but, you know, a little bit of involvement?
I think it's the perfect scenario, because, you know, you touch the ball, nothing too stressful. You know, he feels like he can stop anything coming at him because he's been very, very comfortable, very, very composed. Heart rate hasn't really gone up at all this game. You know, you want that good early touch just to kind of settle in, so I think game's going to plan for Sean Stenger. Although, of course, he is a senior. Played a lot of games. A shortened season last year, so not a whole lot for CBC, but these guys are all playing all year round anyway. So by the time you get to that point, foul called against CBC. A little bit of a trip. This will be a free kick.
DeSmet looking to have their first real opportunity of a shot on goal.
This is going to be Tomasella. He'll hit this with the right. Probably similar intent to what I think Peters meant. I think he's going to aim for the far post with this one. There it is. Stenger will gather it. Under pressure from Connor McCullough, who's in for DeSmet, the number 9. And good quick decision from Stenger. Excellent poke by Dominic Bartoni, just can't keep it in. Great awareness to try to take it right around Ben Anderson. And that one was a little more heart ratey, I guess we'll invent that word. As Stenger had to close that one under good pressure. But he does it. And again, the confidence grows.
Yeah, Sean Stenger tried to set the tone of the game, once again reestablishing that speed that CBC loves to play with.
Yeah, and confidence is kind of like a bank. You know, the more good experiences you have, it just grows and grows. You know you're going to give up a goal at some point in the season. You know, nobody makes it through a whole season without giving up a goal. But you know, the more confident moments you have, the more moments where you deal with something like that and hold on to it. You know, the mistakes don't get to you as much because you have all this built-up confidence. And I think, you know, on the other side for Kyle Crosswhite, as we talk psychology here, you know, he took a big hit early in this game just as a sophomore when he made the mistake coming out. So, you know, he doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in this game to fall back on, and he's really digging deep here. I should say he's been perfectly fine since. Hasn't had a whole lot he could do. I don't think there was much he could have done on the goal. Too many defenders between him and Etzel to really get any play on the ball whatsoever.
As a goalkeeper, maybe allowing a mistake, allowing a goal that possibly shouldn't have been a goal, like, what is the mentality afterwards? Is it short memory, trying to forget about it?
keep your head in the game?
Well, it has to be short memory. That's the only way you can do it, because if it's not, the alternative is really, you try to do too much. As a goalie, that's where you start making other mistakes. You start coming out too soon, you get a little shaky. So I think good goalkeepers have very, very short memories. You absolutely have to, otherwise the position just takes too big a toll. But, Leo, if you're playing starting goalkeeper for Coach Klein at DeSmet, you're a good goalkeeper. So it's such a strong position for them over the years that he wouldn't be in there if he didn't have the ability to get past a mistake. So I'm very confident that he will be just fine. Bartoni steps, lost out to Roschke as the ball is still a little bit loose. Roschke gets back on it, takes a little nudge in the back. Dominic Bartoni doing battle over here. And he's going to get called for the contact against 26 Ethan Waymuller, who's into this game for DeSmet.
A little sophomore on sophomore action there.
Yeah, officials done a nice job of just talking to players. These are young men. The card is not the only thing you can do to make a point to a player. I like what he's doing. And just, anytime things get a little bit heated, he calls them over. Awkward for Stingers. It's coming straight down, but good hands. A little nervous there as he started to charge forward right on the edge of the 18-yard box. And you can't really see it from here. The soccer lines are black, which, in some places over here on the near sideline you can see very clearly. But over there with that goal box, it's right at the 10-yard line for football. You got the lacrosse crease in there. There's a lot going on right in there.
Yeah, that dark purple doesn't help either.
2:42 to go. Big contact there between Roschke and Dylan James.
Oh.
Yeah, and Roschke's going to go down. He's brought down by Landon Hartzell. And we're going to see the free kick given to DeSmet. I think Hartzell gets probably the only warning he's going to get. As he's closed down Roschke from behind, you could certainly understand the card from that situation. But again, the referee opting to just talk to him, calm everybody down. And this is a dangerous situation. You're going to have Tomasella. I think that's Walbert leaves it for Tomasella, so it's just him. Right-footed. This is a really awkward kind of, you could shoot, you could cross it. If Randy Gardner were here, he would just say, hammer it at the goalkeeper. There it is. What a shot off the crossbar. Rebound doesn't fall kindly. CBC trying to clear as it bounces straight up. Still in danger. Touch to control. That was Panagues who was trying to control it. Jake Panagues, that is. What a great free kick that was.
That was a beautiful shot.
Now CBC going the other way. This is Nate Tebow. He's got a goal, got some confidence. He's got two options in the middle as well. And he gets a little handsy there. That'll be a DeSmet free kick. But what a shot that was, Leo.
Yeah, that was impressive. It looked like it was going in. But
yeah,
it seemed like the ball carried a little bit.
Just such an awkward spot because you have to send most people to mark. And if you put too many men in the wall, it means somebody's open. And if you mark everybody, it means there's a little space around the wall. So really, really great shot. Full credit to Alex Tomasella for that one. Unlucky that it hit the crossbar because nothing Stenger could have done about that one.
Yeah, 50 seconds left in the half. DeSmet trying to get a goal before going to the locker room.
Clock's going to be at about 40 seconds when this is thrown in, maybe a little bit below it. Throw in taken by Ben Anderson. Took a little longer than I thought, so clock will be more like 30. Anderson's going to fire it in, look for the flick header if he can. To the top of the box, good
Heavy
closing
touch.
speed by Etzel. His first touch let him down. 20 seconds now. DeSmet looking for one more opportunity. They were so close to making it 2-1 on that free kick. As CBC feverishly pressuring the ball. This is Hartzell. Slaloms past Roschke. And he will see out the half. Passes it back to Peters. That's it. 2-0 is your score at halftime. As the Cadets lead, the goals from Alex Peters and Nate Tebow in a contest that really has lived up to a rivalry game.
Yeah, absolutely. High-intensity game, really, really physical. I think the ref has done a great job to try to get the emotions, or try not to get the players' emotions get carried away.
Well, and also I think halftime came at a good time. Starting to see a few fouls there. You know, everybody go back to your huddle, settle down. It should be a great second half to look forward to. We're going to step aside for a few minutes. You are watching the Cadet Student Network. They got about 10 minutes before we start the second half. We're going to step aside for a bit, but don't go anywhere. It's 2-0 CBC.
Save you money on your insurance. Learn more online at Tim Kylo. CBC alum and State Farm agent Tim Kylo is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Cadet Student Network. For more than 25 years, Tim and his team have helped their clients protect what is most valuable to them. Whether it's home, auto, or business, CBC Alumni Hall of Famer Tim Kylo prides himself on his commitment to the CBC community, and he can help protect you and your family too. Give him a call at 314-842-4442 to see how Tim can save you money on your insurance. Learn more online at timkylo.com. Tonight's CSN game is brought to you in part by State Farm agent Tim Kylo, 314-842-4422. Also by Mercy Sports Medicine, providing sports medical services to all our CBC athletes. By Chick-fil-A, the official chicken sandwich of CSN. And by Athletic Republic. Thanks to all our sponsors and supporters of CSN. Tonight's CSN game is brought to you in part by State Farm agent Tim Kylo, 314-842-4422. Also by Mercy Sports Medicine, providing sports medical services to all our CBC athletes. By Chick-fil-A, the official chicken sandwich of CSN. And by Athletic Republic. Thanks to all our sponsors and supporters of CSN. CBC alum and State Farm agent Tim Kylo is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Cadet Student Network. For more than 25 years, Tim and his team have helped their clients protect what is most valuable to them. Whether it's home, auto, or business, CBC Alumni Hall of Famer Tim Kylo prides himself on his commitment to the CBC community, and he can help protect you and your family too. Give him a call at 314-842-4442 to see how Tim can save you money on your insurance. Learn more online at timkylo.com.
We are back in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. You are watching CBC versus DeSmet. This is the 45th playing of the CBC soccer tournament, as CBC is off to a great start, leading 2-0 thanks to goals from Alex Peters and Nate Tebow against the visiting Spartans of DeSmet. This half, you're going to see CBC in those yellow jerseys going left to right, and DeSmet in the white shirts. They are going right to left across your screen. And as we get set for this one, CBC leading 2-0. Coach Leo Ramos, take us inside that huddle. What is Coach Mickler telling his team?
Coach Mickler is telling them to maintain this shutout. It is an extra point in this tournament system to have a shutout and possibly add a goal or two to overtake SLU for that first place spot in the tournament. And if you're DeSmet, you want to get at least a goal. You denied CBC a point, which can later help you out with your future games. And it gives you at least a point to run away with if you do lose this game.
And very nearly they had that. You know, as we saw right at the end of that half, the free kick from Tomasella was absolutely superb as he rattled one off the crossbar. You know, that goes in. We were just talking in the booth. The complexion of this game completely changes. The momentum changes. Everything changes if that goes in, but it goes the Cadets' way.
I'm not sure if you can see this at the bottom of your screen, but it looks like both student sections are lining up.
Gathering for a photo opportunity.
Yeah.
Under the astute viewership of the Dean. Underway here in the second half. You're watching the Cadet Student Network. I want to thank the students making the broadcast possible tonight. Leo Ramos right next to me, as well as Braden Paulus and Peter Hogan up on top of the press box. And as always, Randy Gardner around here somewhere, probably fixing something. He does such a great job. And we are so glad to be able to bring you this game here on CSN. That ball's out of bounds. This will be a CBC throw. Henry Reinwart starting the second half at right back. Coach is obviously liking what he contributed. Brought a lot of energy to the attack as well. He is playing alongside Dylan James and Luca Bartoni.
CBC looking to possibly add up that score, maybe get some extra points, as we mentioned earlier, take that first place spot in the tournament. They got to be careful because DeSmet can counterattack as well. We've seen glimpses of that in the first half. That's
a great point. To round out the back line, it is Carlo Anik playing left back as well, with Alex Peters in behind as a sweeper. Good opportunity for the Spartans to start. It's Tomasella, closed down by Peters, Reinwart helping out. And that is out for DeSmet throw. Nice pass inside as Tomasella chased. But Peters was all over him.
Beautiful through ball, but great work by the CBC defense. DeSmet player fell down there. The bench, DeSmet bench, thought it was a
it was
penalty.
Good contact, but I don't think that's ever going to be a penalty. You know, you have to appeal, of course. Player goes down in the penalty area. You're going to see it. But I think it's good contact for Peters. Nice ball in, headed down by, I think that was James and Anik.
Oh, beautiful move by Landon there.
Yes, it was. That's Landon Hartzell in the middle.
Switching the play, CBC looking to find an alleyway to create that run. There it is.
In midfield, it is Hartzell and Etzel. And there Luke Matchiner shown to the floor. He is starting at second half at center forward with Tebow on his right. And I think that is Bartoni, Dominic Bartoni it is, on the left.
Looks like he's playing a little bit, I guess, deeper and kind of like a false nine position.
Matchner?
Yeah.
Well, and that is because of his speed.
Yeah.
You know, he can absolutely burn you. If he notices these center backs are flat-footed, he is just going to go.
And he has a great ability to pass the ball on the ground or through the air.
This is Luca Bartoni. He's going to hammer one. It's awkward as it goes by Crosswhite's left-hand post. It knuckled down into the turf. You got to love Luca Bartoni motioning to the ref that there are, in fact, football lines on the field, so you can see that the wall is only 9 yards ahead of me. As Crosswhite will get us going again. 36:43 to go. If you are just joining us, the scoring started with Alex Peters from 38 yards. There were 18:29 remaining in the first half, so right just past the halfway point. He scored a free kick goal. It was a lofted ball toward the far post. We get a stoppage in play. I think we have a shin guard issue at one of the back positions for DeSmet. Appears to be resolved. But Peters lofted one. Goalkeeper came out, missed the ball, and it went right over him into the side netting. So Alex Peters started it off, and then just about 10 minutes later, it was Nate Tebow making it 2-0. Now Matchner, can he make it 3? Little heavy touch, centers it right across. He beat Crosswhite, but Bartoni was just a little too far back. He couldn't match the speed of Matchner, and too far away to get a foot on. A great job by Luke Matchner.
Saw that speed, the way he went around that defender. That's why he's probably playing a little bit farther deeper, as you mentioned.
Let's get a running start. We beat the offside trap. Here come the Spartans, though. They are not out of this game. This is a rivalry game. Anything can happen. Tomasella chasing. Good job by Luca Bartoni to cover. He's got help from Dylan James, who will probably kick this long, I would think. There it is. Backboard in possession as Hartzell's beaten to it. Heavy touch is going to give Stenger a chance. Cole Grodoff trying to mount a charge. Stenger puts it on the deck. Matchner goes up for it. Awkward looking, but hey, you win the ball. That's all it takes. Tebow was looking for the lofted ball in for Dominic Bartoni. He'll get another chance. Plays it off his man, somehow beats him to it. Great speed and persistence by Tebow. That's how he scored the goal. He's got options in the middle, too. He's going to get a right-footed cross. He was looking back post. Matchner was at the penalty spot, but nobody back there. And it'll go out. Nice job by Tebow.
Yeah, we saw that fight. He never really gave up on that ball. Great physicality, showing his strength.
And there's a lot of guys on this team who fit that bill. You have a lot of scrap in this team. Right-footed shot is gathered by Crosswhite. That was Landon Hartzell who let fly. And I think if you're CBC, you see maybe a little bit unsure handling by the sophomore goalkeeper. I would imagine we see him put another one on goal. It took him 2 tries to gather that one. It wasn't an easy one to grab. But if I'm seeing that as a CBC midfielder or forward, I think what that's telling me is hammer the ball at him every chance you get.
You don't make the shots you don't take.
That is true. That is true. And you have the speed to close him down, too. I don't think anybody in this CBC front line especially is going to shy away from a loose ball. If you spill one in a good area, they're going to come after it.
After these 2 goals, CBC now has 16 goals on the season after 5 games, averaging more than 3 goals a game. That's impressive.
That is great to see. It's one of those ingredients that's been missing. Great step by Reinwart. He's got Tebow. Matchner at the PK spot again. Tebow, I think, mishit it just a little bit. Bobbled by Crosswhite. As his struggles with handling continue. Fortunately, he gets away with that one.
Yeah,
Peters will track it down.
He seems to be uncomfortable between the posts. And it may be off of errors from earlier.
Well, I think you're so conscious of everything you're doing after you make a couple mistakes. I think Coach Klein will stick with him. I'm not saying that anybody should or will pull him. But it's one of those things that you have to work through as a younger keeper. What do you do on a day where things aren't going your way? But so far, except for the one mistake, he hasn't had to pay for one yet.
Nate Tebow showing a lot of confidence. You saw that move, little step over to blow past the defender.
Yeah, and one thing to note also, this is a wider field than we've had before. So the amount of space that CBC has, they're really stretching the field nicely. This ball comes in. Luke Matchner gets there. He's not going to give it up easily either. Yeah, should have given it up a little easier than that. That's a foul called. But the field's 70 yards wide, which is 5 or 6 yards wider than the old field. We mentioned the new turf right at the start of the broadcast. So that wider space, CBC is using to their advantage. Just so much space, and it's that space that DeSmet can't quite find with this 4-man backline plus sweeper of CBC.
Yeah, and CBC using those wings to create attacking opportunities.
Well, and it's the beauty of the system. You're so well protected defensively, but it's such a great platform for attack. With this group of players, That system could be really, really effective throughout this season.
Henry Reinwart seemed to give the ball up easily.
And he did. Shooting opportunity here. It was Jake Panages who couldn't get the shot away. Stanger will gather that one comfortably. Looks to get things going quickly, then rethinks. No need to force anything at this point. Shown him a few times like to put the ball on the deck. This time he goes with the punt option.
Great settle.
It was controlled by Luke Matchner. It'll be out off of him. DeSmet throw. Safely gathered in by a helmeted CBC fan. It is, of course, a helmet theme tonight from the Cadets. It appears to be a sort of beach theme of some sort for the Spartans.
Yeah, I want to go talk.
A lot of Hawaiian shirts, some sun hats down there.
Yeah, I wanted to go talk with the student section. That's what they told me, like a Hawaiian theme. Something that we had in a football match between us and DeSmet last Friday.
You probably shied away from bringing up that game in that conversation. It's a great start to the season by this CBC football team. We'll be bringing you that game on Friday at 6 o'clock, CBC versus Vianney. That's headed back for Stanger. CBC takes on the Griffins. You got the Griffins this week, SLU next week, as the MCC action isn't over with this tournament. Speaking of the tournament, the St. Louis U High Junior Billikens won the first game earlier today. They started last night, finished up today after all the weather last night. They won 2-0. They lead the tournament with 6 points. If this result stands, CBC and SLU would be even heading into their matchup tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, which we will bring you as well on CSN. You get 3 points for a win in this tournament, a point if you get a shutout, and then 1 point for every goal you score, up to 6 goals. So the math on the first day is usually pretty simple. You know, by Saturday afternoon, you start to break out the calculator a little bit.
It's when the points start to accumulate.
But the fun thing about it, you know, and I know that, you know, not everybody, you know, likes the point swings, but what it does is it forces you to, you know, that last game, there's all kinds of scenarios. It could be a scenario where you need to go to try to score 5 or 6 goals, and you're still in the tournament. You know,
beautiful ball.
Forces the decisions. Great ball. This is Luke Matchner trying to cut it back. Outcut himself, actually. That's good defending as well. I think that is Slayton Spencer. Number 16 it is. Great job by Spencer. He matches Matchner step for step. That was harder to say than I thought it would be. Kind of like rivalry week.
There was a video that the Student Leadership Council of CBC came out talking about the issues of saying rivalry, and now I'm subconsciously saying
rivalry week. Get those consonants right. We just don't want to be talking about Henry Reinwart and rivalry week. That would be a tough one. So we'll make our jobs easier and get back to the game here. Ball played out to the right wing. Smet's chasing it down. I think that's Sam Butler, the junior forward over there, number 19 into the game. It's going to be out for DeSmet throw. Dylan James getting over and providing cover. And you just look across that line. Look at how many yellow shirts are in the defensive box right there.
9.
There's 9. I think Tebow is going to come in. Somebody's got to pick up number 7 for DeSmet. That is Cole Grodoff. And a good adjustment made as Etzel picks him up. That's flicked out of bounds. Big goal kick for Stanger.
CBC showing how much it means to keep this shutout after that long throw in. They do not want to take any chances. Looks like there'll be 3 subs coming in. It's hard to tell the numbers. It's at the far side of the field.
They're always over there. Numbers get smaller as the evening goes on. Caden Smith back on. Dylan Burkett back on. And Liam Jacober on at left back. Reinwart keeps his place at right back. Good job by Peters. Yes, he's the sweeper. He had cover behind him. That's what you get with those intelligent players back there. Ball played out of bounds as Peters tries to get forward.
Beautiful positioning by Reinwart. He was covering the run in behind while keeping the eye on the his eye on the ball, making sure there's no through ball that would pass him and allowed for another CBC defender to challenge.
Yeah, and that's exactly correct. And you need to be able to make those decisions as a wingback. You know, one-on-one defending and the wide part of defense is just such a challenging skill, and there's a reason why if you can do it at the top level, people will pay a lot of money for your services. It's because of those sorts of decisions. You find yourself on an island so much that you're very often trying to figure out, okay, where do I want to show this guy? Do I want to show him onto his right foot, onto his left foot, take him wide, bring him back in the middle because he wants to get wide. All those things you have to take into account while usually going up against wingers, which tend to be some of the fastest players on the field. So you don't have a whole lot of time to think about it. And it is such a unique position. And anybody following the game over the last 10 years or so, the role of the wingback just keeps developing. 25-33 to go now. DeSmet still trying to mount some offense. Ryan Wart, another difficult decision to make, and he makes the safest one he can just to play it out of bounds. Good decision. Running back towards Stanger, it would have been an awkward one for him. Good turn. Ryan Wart gets a foot to it. This is Tomasella for DeSmet taking it across. He's got help in the middle. Trying to get the shot away is Panages. Back for Roschke. Grodoff can't control it.
It's just a yellow wall in that end zone. It's really difficult to get a ball through, whether it's a lob pass over the top or even a shot off. We saw a fake shot come through because he didn't see a glimpse of goal.
Foul called against Alex Etzel, and this Jake Panages was the one who won this free kick. Roschke and Tomasella over it. Tomasella hammered the crossbar last time he had one of these. A little farther out, a little more direct. Although if you hit the crossbar and hit it sweetly that last time, he'll do it again, I think. Hits a four-man wall. If you got a four-man wall from that range, everybody knows what's happening as Burkett is shown to the ground. Don't think he appreciated the challenge from Roschke. Still no cards awarded in this game. We don't think. There was one possible in the first half, but we did not see it come out. So unofficially, no bookings in this game as we approach the halfway point here in the second half. Nice slaloming step by Luca Bartoni. He's got Liam Jacober ahead of him. Jacober, Peters, and Bartoni. Got all your captains in that one corner of the field.
Luca Bartoni showing like an interesting style of center back because we usually see him as the number 10, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast in the first half. But he shows his technical ability to get around defenders as well while still being on the back line. Ooh.
Nice turn there by Caden Smith as he finds Burkett. Heavy touch from Burkett lets him down. Now Etzel. Denies the give and go, a little too direct. Not the best pass from Etzel. Just chuckling as Coach Zipfel just doubles over on his knees after that one, saying that was not the pass. But Etzel knows that. He's another intelligent player. It's just such a smart team. I don't mean to belabor the point, but the soccer IQ on this team really, really high.
Beautiful challenge there.
That was. Slayton Spencer getting down. It'll be a CBC throw. And you mentioned Luca Bartoni, some of the things he is able to do. That is because I think they have that extra man back there. You're so used to, if you're a CBC player, maybe you're a grad who's gone through CBC, the system you associate, you remember playing that 3-5-2 and the kind of demands that places on defenders. Well, all of a sudden you've got five guys. You've got three center backs in there. One a sweeper and two center backs technically. There's so many guys in there you can afford to make those runs. Good ball in by Burkett is headed clear by DeSmet. It'll be another CBC throw. Because you have that kind of cover, you can start to take those opportunities. And why should you? Well, as you step up as a center back, a midfielder has to step up on you. The ripple effect opens somebody up. And if you can play a ball in behind, you could have some success.
One thing I like to point out as well is on the attack, when the Cadets are attacking and the ball is on their side of the field, you've seen Alex Peters, although he's at sweeper, you see him drop back as well to provide some support for the other center backs.
Especially early in the season, that's the kind of understanding you want to see. Awkward for Anik. This is Gruey for DeSmet. Just can't keep it in bounds. That was Carlo Anik struggling a little bit on this right side, as he appears to be playing right back, which has freed Henry Reinwart. Now is Anik playing in the middle now? Okay, Reinwart's still at right back. Carlo Anik, we saw him at wing back earlier. He looks like he's playing as a center back alongside Luca Bartoni as they settle back in. Over there on the left, they bring Sam Villa back on. No, it's Dylan James playing left back now. No, oh, geez, I'm all over the place, Leo. Now they settle in. Still getting used to this formation myself. It is Liam Jacober playing left back with James and Bartoni in the middle, and then Henry Reinwart over here on the near side. Just goes to show you the different positions they find themselves in. Kind of makes your point, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
At least that's what I'm telling myself to make the best of that botched moment of commentary.
Now I see why binoculars are so important.
Binoculars are important.
I got to bring some for the next game.
We're just talking about it. Two things every broadcaster needs in the bag: Scotch tape, binoculars. It's calm now, but you wait for that breezy afternoon. If you forget your tape, you got to be an octopus to keep everything down on the desk.
I love that metaphor.
Thank you. It's less fun when you're experiencing it. Just past the halfway point here in the second half. CBC holding on to a 2-0 lead. DeSmet's starting to find decent positions on the field, but still no final ball, really. The best chance they had was on a free kick from about 25 to 30 yards, as Stanger pulls that down just inside his penalty area.
And Coach Mickler has made some substitutions on those wings to continue that applied pressure from the front three. As we see Dylan Burkett came in on the right side.
Easy call for the referee as Etzel shows that was Jake Panages to the floor. 19 minutes on the clock. And part of that is the energy, but also I think part of it is with a different system. You know, playing a wingback in a four-man system with a sweeper is different than playing wingback in a three-man system. It's just a different role. So also trying to figure out, you know, what is the best combination in this formation. It's early in the season. Yes, this is a huge game. It's a tournament. It's a rival. But you're also still trying to figure out who your team is. So, you know, bringing in different looks, different combinations. Like you got Jacober and Reinwart now. You know, obviously Coach Mickler likes what he's seeing from Henry Reinwart because he's still out there. He's been out there for quite a while. You know, he's survived a substitution, which is good.
And flexibility is important, too. A team that's able to adapt has a really, really big advantage against a team that doesn't.
Yes, they do. As formations, you know, as much as you like to talk about them, and, you know, we soccer people love to geek out over formations. Once the game starts, you know, the formation is only so meaningful. It's really more about the roles. You know, what do you do from the position you start in that matters so much more. Cross comes in, and that is nowhere near the goal. That'll be an easy goal kick for CBC. 4 changes being made by DeSmet. Coming into the game is McCullough, Gunn, Butler. What number am I missing, Leo? 26. That is Ethan Waymuller. Gotta say, nice big, bold numbers on that DeSmet jersey.
Yeah, it makes it easy for us, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. CBC's number is a little smaller, I'll say, but a good clear font. One thing I'm noticing, though, and is this the most important thing to comment on in this game? No, but I have to say it. DeSmet longstanding policy of black shoes only. You do not wear flashy shoes if you play for DeSmet. That's been around for a while, but as you look at the CBC team, is the black boot making a comeback? It appears to be. For a while, the white shoes and the neons and all of that was really in, but I think the black boot's making a comeback, Leo.
Yeah, and I didn't notice that until you just mentioned that. Right now I'm looking at all the players like, yeah, they all have black boots. Is it like a tradition that DeSmet has?
Yep. It's team first. We're not about being flashy. We're not about having the brightest shoes you can find. If you play for us, you're going to wear the old school boots and you're going to work hard, which is true to the identity of their teams down the years. Yeah, I wonder if black becomes the rage for shoes. Do you then go to okay, now we're going to go all white boots policy? If black is becoming the new cool for shoes, do you mix it up?
That's an interesting question.
Randy Gardner just walked in. Randy, how many pairs of non-black soccer shoes do you ever have?
Zero. All right.
I had 2. They didn't make me any better.
The Adidas Copas. Some classic shoes. I know I have some Copas as well. I know my dad has some from his younger days.
Reinwart watches that one out. Reinwart watches that one out. The tongue twisters continue. 15:28 to go. Most important thing to say, 2-0 lead for the Cadets. If this result holds, they will be level on points at the top of this tournament with St. Louis University High School. And we have a foul called against CBC in an awkward area. I think that was Caden Smith who gets called for that one, as he brought down Connor Gunn just outside the area. That is a couple inches outside the area. That was really close to being a very unlucky penalty.
Yeah, very risky. You don't want to give up possibly a free goal on a PK.
Now we do have 2 men on either, or 1 man on either post. That's good to see. Stanger, nope.
Oh.
Stanger calls him off the post, which means the posts are vulnerable. If Gunn can get a little whip on this. Plays it low. He had an on-rushing man. He couldn't get his foot on it. CBC trying to clear. It was James trying to clear. Gets 1 foot on it. Caden Smith trying to help it out. Reinwart helps it. The Cadets unable to clear. Good turn by Gunn. Reinwart matches him. Can't usher it out of bounds successfully, and it'll be out for a corner. Reinwart's saying I was shoved into the ball, but not enough contact for the foul, and it'll be a corner kick to DeSmet. Good spell of opportunity here. And if you're DeSmet and can put one in on this corner, you got 13 and a half minutes left after this one.
So they're crowding the keeper.
Great opportunity. Yeah, they're going to crowd Stanger. Put everybody down low. One option up high. Right-footed in swinger. And it's off the near frame. Really wasted opportunity for Gunn, as he just pulled it for all you golfers out there.
One thing that has become popular, and even in professional soccer, is that pulling the defenders off the post. I wonder why. I haven't really gotten an explanation.
Yeah, it's almost like a generational thing. It's kind of like the designated hitter. You ask more offense, great for baseball. Guys off the posts, you got more marking. It's better this way. You ask anybody old school, always have somebody on the post. And as a goalkeeper, I can tell you, having somebody on the post frees you up. How many times do you see a ball flicked into the side netting with absolutely nobody there? I know it takes a marker out of the middle. I know it keeps somebody, maybe from being that outlet pass to get you out of trouble. But your first job on a corner kick is to have somebody on that post. And for whatever reason, I don't think Stanger wanted somebody there. This is the kind of stuff that Coach Mickler generally emails us about after the game. Randy Gardner back there just clamoring for somebody on the post. Substitutions have been made. Tebow back into the game, among others. Front line looks like Burkett, Dominic Bartoni, and Caden Smith.
Yeah, it looks like Caden Smith is switching to the right side now.
Yep. Midfield duo of Matchner and Hartzell. Caden Smith having to do defensive duty here as well. Reinwart is equal to it. He has been very good, and he gains a foul too.
Yeah, he came off the bench, and it seems like Mickler is really pleased with what he's done in that right back position. He's staying in the game.
Yep. Quick clarification as we all learn the roster. It is Matchner who is playing center forward. Caden Smith on the right, and Dylan Burkett on the left of the attacking three. Nate Tebow, Landon Hartzell in the midfield. Smith still at sweeper. You have Bartoni and Dylan James at center back, Reinwart at right back. And over there at left back, those are real small numbers from here, but that is Carlo Anik. Burkett makes a nuisance of himself, falls for Crosswide, who does nicely to hang on to it under pressure from Matchner. That's a great grab by Crosswide as Spartans fight off cramp. That's one you take a little confidence from. Good strong hands. Nice job by Kyle Crosswhite.
Looks like DeSmet, if I'm not mistaken, is going to like a 3-4-3 almost.
Yeah, they're trying to work a few more guys forward. That is for sure. You're down 2-0, you need something. And as you rightly pointed out a while ago, even one goal benefits you here. It gets you on the board. It puts you in third place instead of fourth. You deny CBC a point. Good job by Caden Smith. He's got two options, Burkett and Matchner in the middle. Side steps. Great tackle there. It was Austin Werner, the sophomore back, just stretching a leg in. A couple changes for CBC. Reinwart's going to get a break. Sam Villa checks back in at right back. And Dominic Bartoni is going to come in at striker and give Dylan Burkett a break. Throwing in a good area for CBC.
Cole Grothhoff also came in for the DeSmet. And it looks like the defender for DeSmet that was cramped up earlier, it's still experiencing some pain. I think that's why Cole came in.
Clock was stopped while the substitution was carried out. It looks like Jake Panages, the player who's hobbling off.
It's a good sign to see that he's walking.
It is, but you could tell definitely cramping up by the way he's moving. Hope he'll be okay. 9 minutes, 18 seconds to go. This is Luke Matchner for the Cadets. That is out off of him. I don't think he liked that call, but it's a DeSmet throw. Villa instantly put in an awkward situation. Ball finds its way back to Luca Bartoni, makes no mistakes about it. He was looking for his little brother, but it's broken up well by Ben Anderson. So important for CBC to keep up the energy, keep the ball in the DeSmet half, keep generating offense. Do not allow DeSmet to pin you in. Yes, you have numbers at the back, but you don't want to have to rely on them. You see the idea there on the switch,
yeah.
But the ball doesn't make it all the way across to Caden Smith. Another opportunity for the Spartans. Nine outfield players behind the ball right now for CBC. That is exactly how this team is set up. Absorb this pressure, look to spring on the counter.
They have followed the game plan very well. Seems like they really understand what's the reason for each position and what's the reason for the formation.
Roschke, the DeSmet captain, colliding with Carlo Anik over there. And they're going to give that foul against Anik. So this will be a DeSmet free kick.
Besides that one shot off the post, DeSmet hasn't really been very dangerous on these set pieces. See if they can change that.
Well, Hank Walbert is tasked with changing that. Everybody's lined up at the back post. You want to put it halfway between the runners and the goalkeeper. There it is. Not a bad ball. It's headed wide. Let's see the number on the guy who got there first. I believe that's number 18, Connor Gunn, who heads it wide of Stanger's goal, and he will be in no rush to take this goal kick.
Trying to waste the clock.
Well, he did have the referee did blow his whistle to tell him to hustle up already, so he's got to watch himself. Can't take as much time as he'd like. Risk a yellow card. And in high school soccer, you get a yellow card, you have to be subbed out, then you got a cold goalkeeper coming in a game where you'd really like to get that extra point for the shutout. So as much as you'd love to take a little time off the clock, he'll have to be careful. Might be able to get away with a little shin guard adjustment, though, periodically.
I think we have a change of sweepers, because it seems as if Alex is playing a little bit more forward.
Yep, he's stepping up a lot more into the midfield. He's kind of protecting the back line as a stopper, but he may drop back as well. Luca Bartoni now playing that sweeper role. We get a quick stoppage here, so we'll see if they go back or if that is a new look.
Caden Smith.
That's one way you can stop the clock a little bit. Sub off the guy who's farthest away on the field. Caden Smith is going to come off for Liam Jacober. And does this change the configuration here? Jacober makes his way over to the near side. He actually looks like he's going to play in the middle. Barashki's ball over the top. Headed down. A little too quick for a reaction from Walbert. Good step there by Villa to close him down. 5:30 to go. DeSmet getting a little bit more possession here. This is Walbert. Closed down from the backside by Villa. Tries to step on it and turn it, but it's Tebow who clears.
CBC playing the clearing game. Maybe not to focus on the attack as much now. Oh, but an error.
Bartoni almost got in as Roschke couldn't control. Boy, I bet his eyes were big. Very nearly through. Dominic Bartoni after Roschke's error, but Bartoni just can't quite regain his footing. Neither could Matchner, and the opportunity goes one. Third goal at this point would, you have to figure, be about all she wrote. Good cut inside by Gunn. Lays it back, nobody there. Slayton Spencer, I think. No, it's not Spencer. I think that's Sam Butler who had to come back for it. And they're going to get offsides against CBC.
Yeah, fans are not too pleased with that.
Yep. Yeah, the mic on that one will tell you which side we're on. Sam Villa doing battle against Sam Butler. A couple of Sams going at it. I think Villa got away with little hands there that the referee didn't see. That will shock nobody who's been around soccer. You get away with just a little bit. Key is knowing when to let go. Of course, we do not condone this. Roschke stepping up. And he's going to take a little bit of a swing, as that one is late. That's Anik scraping himself off the deck. Now it's Dylan James.
Taking his time there a little bit.
Yep, Roschke, one of the leaders of this team, does have 2 yellow cards so far on the year. So he's not going to shy away from any of the conflict here. 3:17 to go as Cross-White gathers it. Left-footed boot finds the right shoe of Sam Villa, and he'll be out for a DeSmet throw. Lovely control touch by the assistant referee on the near side.
He still got it.
Still got it. That thing just came to a nice stop. Inside of 3 minutes to go. Time is the friend of CBC at this point. Throw-in being taken by Austin Werner. Not a whole lot of movement ahead of him. Late in the game, tired legs. You don't always see the movement off the ball in the throw-ins. Peters, very, very strong against Grodoff there. Heavy touch gives Tebow a chance at it. And Nate Tebow.
So 4-on-3.
It is. He's got Matchner to his right, finds him. Luke Matchner, you know, he's looking to shoot here. Tries to cut inside. Roschke closed him down. Matchner saying he was fouled. Looked clear from here.
Wow. Beautiful technical skill there by Landon Hartzell to nutmeg.
It was.
Defender.
And we're going to get a stoppage of the clock. Somebody's going to find themselves in the book. And it's going to be Dylan James' first yellow card of the game. He did not like the no call against Luke Matchner. Got to say, from here, looked like a fair challenge from Roschke. Came in, got the ball first, You can't stop your body completely. He's not coming in from behind, so it's frustrating, I know, but I think the official got that one right.
Yep, 78 minutes for the first booking.
Yep, could have come sooner, I think, but again, the official opting to talk to players, calm them down instead of issuing the card early. And now Dominic Bartoni backing away from the official.
Yeah, the referees have done well to not let this game get out of hand.
Yeah, I think that one was probably just dissent. Not sure if something was said or just the reaction. But Coach Mickler will get an explanation of this. I also like that our official tonight has been very good about going over and explaining things on the bench. You can agree or disagree with the call, but the fact that the coach gets an explanation, I do like and I do think is good for everybody involved. 2:07 remaining on the clock. We will restart with the throw in to DeSmet. Clock begins now. Hartzell wins the header. DeSmet needing a little bit of desperation at this point, and we're going to get a foul called.
Beautiful hustle by Luke Matchiner.
Yep, Matchiner wins the call against Connor McCullough. As the clock is at 1:43. We might switch takers of this one. Do you want it? No, I'll take it. Takes a few seconds off the clock. Instead, Bartoni takes it quickly, finds Hartzell. Wasn't expecting that, but I don't think DeSmet was either. 1:30 to go. Hartzell trying to chip Crosswhite. Doesn't get quite enough lift on it. And Crosswhite's punt will go out of bounds. So CBC will get this ball with 1:19 to go. Until CBC's confident trying to go for that long-range one. Up 2-0 with 1 minute to go.
Landon opting to waste more time, keeping the ball out of play.
The ball boy's all over it, though. Nice job on this near side here. Nate Tebow's first there. There's two options inside. He might go it himself, though. Right-footed shot by Tebow is up through the upright.
3 points?
Not in this sport.
Wrong football.
Wrong football, Leo. And Crosswhite will set this one down. CBC will win this game. 37 seconds to go. Hartzell the first to the header. Doesn't fall for Tebow. 28 seconds now. And Nate Tebow does regain. Landon Hartzell kicks it down into the corner. And ball boy sprints to give Kyle Crosswhite the ball. 19 seconds left to go.
Yeah, the fans here at CBC very pleased with the Cadets' performance tonight.
Yes, they are, as they should be. 10 seconds to go. This is a great barometer, of where your team is. 5 seconds. Early in the season, you play a few games against good teams. Lindbergh's a good team. Gateway Legacy Christian, a fantastic team, as it is official. CBC wins 2-0. But that first game in the CBC tournament against conference opposition, you learn a lot about your team, not just tactically, not just sort of fitness levels, but you learn a lot about the character of the team, and I think test passed tonight for CBC.
Absolutely. They did a wonderful job. They stuck with a game plan, and it worked.
So the goals came from Alex Peters on a free kick from 38 yards out, and then Nate Tebow in the first half also, just sheer persistence, poked that in. As CBC pulls level on points with SLU. So they have 6. The Junior Billikens have 6. DeSmet and Vianney both have 0 points. Tomorrow evening, DeSmet Vianney will happen at 5 p.m. We will not broadcast that game, but we will have CBC versus SLU at 7. And the winner of that game, you figure, will take the lead in the tournament. So that should be a good one to watch. We will see you tomorrow night at 7. Be sure to come back and watch us. We want to thank Braden Paulus up there on the press box. We want to thank, who is up there? Peter Hogan is up there as well. So thank you to Peter Hogan. Leo, it's been a pleasure bringing everybody the game with you. Randy Gardner, great job tonight. Thanks for making it happen. And that's going to be it for us, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, CBC SLU. You won't want to miss it. Thanks, everybody.